Hi guys, we're going to look at one of the composition videos in order to analyze the structure of Raag Kafi and look at some of the characteristics that define the Raag apart from just the ascending and descending notes that we've already established. So let's listen to this first phrase and then I'll tell you all of the important information that we can get just from that one phrase. So you just want to really get this phrase in your mind because this is the real key phrase which expresses the main theme of the Raag. Okay, now the intro, the third part is interesting. So straight away there, we had a ma 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 pa pa ni ni sa. So that's a should ni. That's the sort of major seventh in Western theory. So normally we have a chormal ni, which would be written in lowercase. So for example, here's a chormal ni, but this is should ni, which you can use in this kind of progression, reaching up to the sa in this way. So you wouldn't tend to, for example, go from sa down to should ni, down to da. You wouldn't tend to use it in that straight descending motion, but you can use it as a special feature in an ascending motion. You wouldn't use it too often. It's more like a special feature that you would use, and it seems in this instance we're using it just before we start to explore above the high sa as well. So it's a special little feature that I wouldn't use too often. It's something that just gives a little bit more color. There are versions of Kafi called like Mishra Kafi, where Mishra means where you combine it with all kinds of different notes. So Kafi has that sort of wildcard element. You can start to introduce different notes to it, but this is more of a kind of plain traditional form of Kafi that you can still use that should ni, that kind of major seventh. So it's got a really nice kind of pointed sound to it as it comes through. So let's just hear that again. So building up. And again, ni, sa, using it again there, coming back to the sa. So re, re, ga, re, sa, re, ni, sa, using the should ni again. One more time. So as it came back out of that section, pa da da pa ni da pa, then you're using the chormal ni again. So you're starting to give a sign that you're going to be moving into a lower part of the scale. So it was really nice how that should ni highlighted the high part, the high register, and it's very much connected to the sa, that should ni. You don't use it to explore many other notes. It has to be, in my perception, it has to be very connected to that sa, to that high sa in this case. And then the pa da da pa ni da pa is now being used chormal ni as we're going back down. We're starting to introduce, we're going to work our way back down the scale now. So let's hear that one a bit more. Here it comes back to the phrase which connects you to the mukra. This phrase is very reminiscent of the mukra because it has the sa ni sa and it moves up to the gaga re. So it's almost like the mukra phrase, but it's a way of just getting you to this seventh beat. It's getting you to the point where the mukra really starts. So the sa ni sa gaga re ma ga re, and then sa ni sa, then that's the mukra coming back in to lead you into the main part. So that's a really important little device because it brings you to the correct part of the cycle, and it's so reminiscent of the mukra that it sounds like a really binding phrase which is taking you in the right direction. So let's hear that phrase a bit more. have a tihai. So just repeating that part of the mukra phrase. And landing on that pa on beat 1. So we've really established the should ni on the way up. When we went into the third section, the antro, we had the ma 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 pa pa ni ni sa, and that had a very melodic kind of sound just building up to the very top of the scale. And then as we were coming back down, we had to use that kormal ni again to really bring us back down. So these are the kind of things which really bring out the essence of the rag. And when you're improvising, you're trying to observe these, and these different key phrases can be there to influence how you might play when you're improvising. And then you would take these key phrases and you would embellish them, and you would find all kinds of new ways to play similar things to these phrases, but to reinvent them and then apply your own musical imagination and what seems to be pleasing to your ear, but trying to keep within the essence of the rag. After a while, I personally think that it's a bit more about just the feeling of the rag. It's hard to get inside it sometimes and know that you're really within the feeling of the rag and you're not just getting carried away with your own musical desires. But there's a way of playing where it starts to feel like you're tapping into the essence of the rag, and then you can express yourself in a way that feels very natural, but you know that you're drawing from these kind of key phrases and you're treating the notes in this particular way, which is very truthful to the sound of that rag. So the more you learn these compositions and start to analyze the phrases and try to improvise with them and just find the way to vary them a little bit every time, then you'll start to improvise in more of the authentic Indian classical manner. So yeah, try and take this kind of discipline with you when you look at the other parts of the course, and try to take the different techniques but apply them within this kind of sensitivity of the notes of the scale. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of it, and yeah, just let me know if you need any more guidance on this kind of thing. Ask me questions and we'll get through this stuff together.